this is going to be hard to say, and
you're doing it now,
and I'm a little scared. No, the Nuggets
never get scared.
The Nuggets saved for later. This is something else.
Okay,
and
wow,
this is and I said it to you, and you listened, but the rat on the table, sponsored by Atco, is right now. Jalen Brunson's better than Steph. He's a better player. He's been a better player this year than Steph Curry. He's going to finish much higher in the MVP voting. He's shooting the exact same percentage from 3 as Steph. He's shooting better from 2 than Steph. He averages more assists than Steph. He's a better defensive player than Steph. And he's really good. And he's in his prime. It doesn't mean that Steph won't have a better career. He obviously is going to have a better career than Brunson, but guys are getting better in this league, and the Warriors are not getting. Their best players are no longer getting better. They're trying to stay at a level. They're trying to hang on to a level, but we're seeing more and more players in the league hit their primes and just get better and better and better against the Warriors.
But I'll say this, and I'm the biggest Brunson fan. I'm not ready to go there yet, Steiny, but I will say, you know what? He's having a better season. But what about this caveat?
That's all that matters.
He's not getting guarded, and no excuses. He's not getting – the gravity is still there for Steph when opposing teams double him.
Well, I don't know what that means.
And I think the spacing has been messed up when they moved Clay out of the starting lineup for guys. No excuses for Kuminga even and Wiggins.
They were
those thoughts go through my mind.
They were 19 and 24 when Clay was starting. They just were. And, I get it. Steph is better than Brunson over the course of his career. But
you're saying
if you say I'll give you Brunson's had a better year than that's kind of all that matters.
But what if he's got more help? And if we could give
now the Knicks have more help. Now the Knicks are playing without
a better team.
They're playing without OG Anunoby and without Julius Randle.
I give you that.
And this kid comes in here.
But what happened 2 weeks ago when they went to New York, Steiny? Brunson didn't have the greatest game. I'm not fighting.
But what are you saying? You can fight me individual games
that
all
I would
you
take
want.
Steph over Brunson.
Well, that's great.
With the game on the line.
Okay. Well, and I'm just telling you right now, Brunson's had a better year. And
I can't argue that.
Brunson's been more impactful to the Knicks winning. Let's go to Oscar. Oscar is in Stockton, and he says I'm wrong. What am I wrong about,
You just said one thing about Brunson. Yeah. Brunson has the ball in his hand the whole time. And the way the Warriors run their offense, there's no way in the world Brunson is better than Steph. We just left New York. We just left New York last week. Yeah. And what did Brunson do?
Well, Brunson's playing for Brunson is playing better basketball on a better team.
I doubt that. I doubt that. The year is not even over with. And Steph just came off an injury. Are you serious? Let's see what Brunson do in the East. They're in the East. Let's see what they do in the East. Put it like
that's
that.
Fine.
I mean, that's
so Rick Brunson. So hold on. Let Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson's shooting better from the field. He averages more assists. He's right with Steph at the 3-point percentage. What? Why is that so? What's the big deal? Steph's one of the greatest of all time. He's 36. Brunson's been better this year.
He's been better this year?
Yes.
Steph?
Yes.
Steph just came off an injury, too. And the way
missed 3 games. He's played the whole year. And what about, how did he look Saturday? Steph looked great.
He looked great. But, Steiny, let me say one thing. The way the Warriors are being up and down, inconsistent lineups, Steph sacrificed his game to make sure the rest of the guys get into the game. And that's why Brunson's numbers are adequate to Steph's. That's the only reason.
Okay.
And when it comes down to crunch time, whose number's going to be better? Steph is, because he's going to keep the ball in his hand and he's going to dictate the offense.
Right.
And that's what he needs to do.
Okay.
Dictate the offense like Brunson is doing. Now it's time to pick and roll.
You know what?
Steph to be,
but
you know what? Another thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Steph played less time than Brunson.
Okay. Appreciate it, Oscar. Right. He's playing less because he's older than Brunson.
That's a part. Less last night. 35 for Brunson, 33 for Steph.
But he's probably right. Brunson's probably averaging 35. Steph's at 31. But that's like all part of it. That's just part of it. Like age matters. And you know the other thing is, yes, Brunson has the ball in his hands a lot. I wouldn't want Steph Curry to play like Brunson. But if he had to play like Brunson, I'm not sure that the Warriors would have very much success because he'd actually draw more attention than he's drawing now because he'd just be pounding the ball and he'd have 5 eyes on him.
Well, it feels that way because, I hate to tell you this, Steiny, and I know what Dub Nation knows. I'm putting it all out there. You're going to go as far as the chef can take you. And I get Jalen Brunson for this conversation. I disagree with you right now, Steiny. I think even the injuries that New York had, Miles McBride could come in here who didn't score a single freaking point against the Kings and comes in here and goes for 29. That's bigger than Steph. That's a team-wide problem. But in no world do I think Brunson's past Steph. And I do think what's around Steph, Steiny, is making it feel like people could have that conversation.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me just ask you this. And who's going to finish higher in the MVP race? Brunson or Curry?
It's Brunson.
Okay. Well, that means he's had a better year than Steph.
Now, and again, if you asked me that question, I said, Steiny, let's just put last year on the table. Steph would have been higher. They were 6 seed, but nobody cares.
Yeah, we can talk about last year, and if you want, we can talk about the championships.
No, I want to talk about what's around Steph, Steiny, because that's what the biggest issue is.
Okay, well, I think
it's concerning and it's dark.
Well, I think a big issue with the Warriors is I think there are a lot of issues right now with the Golden State Warriors, but one of the issues is that again, I've tried to be as honest about this. Steph Curry is one of the greatest players to ever step on a court. And he's still playing at a high level, but he's not the player he was. So where does that decline? How do you measure that decline? You measure it in wins and losses from the team. Like the bottom line is maybe Steph and Draymond could win that game for you 3 or 4 years ago. Why can't they do it now? I think it's because there's a lot of young teams in the league. There's a lot of athleticism in the league. They're making Steph and the older players work really hard. I think it matters then down the stretch of games and seasons. And if you want to say Steph's not the problem, he needs more help, I can't argue with you. He's the best player on the team. He's absolutely the best player on the team, and it's not even close. So, yeah, they absolutely need to get better around Steph.
Yeah.
Because Steph ain't getting better.
Right. And no,
he's getting worse.
And this is but normally that's how it works. We're not asking you to do so much because you carried so much 36. For so many years.
Okay, well, you doubled down with all the older players.
That you have.
In fact, you got older with Chris Paul. Like, this should not be a major, major surprise.
And this team should not be, you know what? A 10th seed is a surprise to me. But I'm going to give you an analogy. I gave you a few yesterday, Steiny. 45% for the field, that's Steph. When you judge him compared to his all-time ledger, that's like a student getting a 4.0, but they drop down to a 3.8 or 3.7. That's still spectacular.
That means they're not a valedictorian anymore. And it means they're not at a championship level anymore as that number one type of player. That's all I'm saying.
But a 3.7, 3.6, Steiny is still damn good. That's still stellar.
It's good enough to get you 10th. With this team around him.
My question to you is,
you're not going to be able to surround him with Devin Booker and Doncic.
Well, I would just stop there with Devin. Who does Devin have, as great as he is? Durant and Beal. Curry, who's Curry's Robin? That's what's eroded. Who is Curry's Steiny, let me tell you, it's on a milk carton. It fluctuates. And as much as I love Kuminga, and he's young, he's not there yet. He's working with less. And it's the owner and general manager's job, because it's apparent to any, let me just get this out. You cannot turn off the TV yesterday and Steiny, I'm not wearing Curry underwear, and say Steph Curry's the problem. Of course
I'm not saying that.
I'm not, for people out there, it's imperative that you get something. However, you got to rob the basketball bank. You got to get him a stud.
You can't.
Because if he has to do it all, this is what and he's going to be out of here faster than we ever thought. They need something. I don't know who it is, Steiny, but this is not it. And Wiggins, I am done.
No, you're not. You're not done. He's going to get 19 tomorrow against Memphis. You know it. And I know
he got 17 against the Lakers.
Exactly.
I didn't come in here throwing a parade.
No, but you said you're talking about the eye of the tiger.
Robin, Steph. I'm telling you, man. He'll never say it.
And what I'm saying,
know what I mean.
And what I'm saying is, depending on who the Robin is, it doesn't get you back into championship contention.
But does it get you out of 10th?
Yeah, 8th. Is that good enough for Joe Laker?
They're in a fight for 10th.